Okay, Jordan, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us today to talk about your experience with Crohn's and colitis. I love the story. I love how you got here and massive results. Congratulations. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, dude. And first off, can you share what were you diagnosed with, how long ago, and what was that experience like for you and your family to go through it?
Yeah, I was diagnosed with Crohn's in November. Symptoms came on really suddenly for me around October
Just
out
this
of
last
nowhere.
year.
Just this last year.
But you had symptoms prior. You were having tons of random symptoms. They couldn't figure it out for years prior.
Yeah, years prior, chronic fatigue, just yeah, a lot of stuff. I went to a lot of different, doctors and tried to find a lot of different solutions. Ultimately, it ended up in all the Crohn's symptoms.
But it took years for them to figure that out. So it
Yeah.
was, you got chronic fatigue, energy, maybe some weight loss, some GI symptoms happening, but everyone doesn't understand what it is. Maybe it's just IBS. This seems too extreme until
Yeah.
eventually you got that diagnosis.
Yeah, exactly.
And did you feel a sense of relief at that time when you finally got diagnosed? Like, oh, now I know what to fight? Or was it, great, I have an incurable disease for the rest of my life. There's nothing I can do about it. I got to go on biologics. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little discouraging just because, with the diagnosis that I got from, a normal gastroenterologist, it was just like, hey, here's medicine, there's no cure. It felt a little bit like, man, what's going on? But then finding your story on some podcasts and understanding the connection between viral loads, because I'd ended up finding out that I had, Epstein-Barr virus, Bartonella,
Wow.
all these things, right? And so I was like, okay, so there's a connection here. I think there's a solution. So that gave me a lot of hope.
So that's something that really helped you mentally when you were first starting to deal with incurable disease. What am I going to do is you immediately started to tie some connection with deeper root issues. And we found a few different viruses. And I remember I was talking about that on Ben Greenfield's podcast and a few other podcasts, and that kind of resonated with you.
Yeah, huge.
Huge. You're like, man, I think that's me. But what were the symptoms? I mean, you're listening, you're looking for solutions out there, you're trying to look alternative. The doctors are telling you that's all crap. There's nothing out there that can really help you. What were your symptoms like prior to coming into the program?
Extreme urgency, going to the bathroom up to 20 times a day, a lot of fatigue. I lost 35 pounds in a matter of 2 months or something like that. I mean, I just wasn't myself at all.
How many bowel movements during the day were you having?
Yeah, 15 to 20.
So you would go 15, 20 times. You're on the bathroom every 30 minutes, every 45 minutes, an hour. You're sitting down, blood's coming out, mucus, you're getting cramping. You lost 35 pounds, you have no energy. And then this is happening through the night as well?
Yeah, through the night as well. I just started a new job, like couldn't focus at work.
How did you even bear? How did you even make it into the car and go to work? I mean, I'm sure you had days where it was more like 12 bowel movements and it might calm down. And then
Yeah.
bad days that were 20. But how did you even work around that?
I just had to keep pushing. I don't know.
Just move
I
from
mean,
one
it
bathroom
was
to the
rough.
next, run to the next bathroom at work and run over here to
Yeah.
that one. And that's what I
Yeah,
did. And so you're also getting like very high calprotectin, night sweats, extreme diarrhea, severe fatigue. I mean, your body is just freaking out. Did you feel like it mattered what you ate?
Yeah, I did. I just didn't have the education. I mean, like I've generally been, a fairly healthy person. I've had, my moments where I get a little crazy, right? So it was like I knew that diet and nutrition was a big piece of it. I just didn't know anything really that like we go through in the program.
Yeah.
All the
You
food
hadn't had any
philosophy.
functional medicine training before. You didn't
No.
understand food and how to
The
work things
philosophy.
out. Yeah, all of food philosophy. And so that made a big difference. But did you find when you first got sick, if you had a Chipotle bowl versus if you had cereal versus you had eggs, did you notice a difference in your symptoms?
Yeah.
So you know
Yeah.
that your gut was sensitive, and did your doctor tell you that food mattered, or what was that experience?
That was the one thing that set me off, that I was like, I have to find a different solution, because I asked that question. I was like, okay, I know my medication options, but like, what else can we do in the realm of like supplementation or diet? He just gave me a little handout that basically had some foods to avoid. It was probably like the list of foods that would, be the first thing that would pop up on a Google search. And so it wasn't super big part of, the solution in his eyes. And so.
Okay, but that's when you started feeling more comfortable with going out and about and things like that. Like, hey, I need to go outside. And our doctors, they're great at what they do. We love them for that. But you felt like you might have needed more support than just the doctor.
Yeah, exactly. I just knew intuitively without knowing much about, the food philosophy that we go through in the program. Like I just
Yeah.
knew intuitively that the food is running through my gut. My gut is the issue here. Like it has to play a part. It may not be the whole solution, but it has to be a part of it, right?
That's how
Yeah.
I felt too. And I know a lot of people out there listening are feeling there has to be something actually going on with this idea of the microbiome and digestion, and what food I put in, and the stress factors, and maybe underlying infections. And they're just not being discussed. And the doctor's
Right.
got 5 minutes with us, right? So it's really tough to do.
Jordan, did you see a difference between food affecting you towards the beginning of the program and then as you went on?
Absolutely. I mean, in the beginning, the symptoms were still rough. So like I was sensitive, like stuff that I can eat now totally fine, like guacamole. Like remember I had that flare up eating some of like the siete chips and some guac that one time. And now that's just fine, right? Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Jordan, so let me ask you this. You were having 10, 20 bowel movements a day, blood, urgency, pain, cramping, bloating, going to the bathroom, some hemorrhoids, even some arthritic pain, all these different things happening. What are your symptoms now?
Pretty much none.
All right.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, how many bowel movements a day?
1 to 2.
Wow. 1 to 2 bowel movements. Any pain, cramping, urgency,
No.
bloat, blood,
No.
mucus, and you're sleeping through the night?
Yep.
No joint pain?
A little bit. That one's
Little bit,
working on, but I
still a
think it's
little
tied
bit?
to the viral load stuff that we're working on, but yeah.
Okay, little bit of joint pain still, a tiny bit of joint pain going on. What about no hemorrhoids?
No.
And energy, good? 8, 9 out of 10? Feel like the gas tank's full?
Yeah.
And any medications?
I'm off of all medication.
And were you able to gain all your weight back?
I'm still working on that, but I'm in the best shape I've been in 4 years. Now we're just, I'm just trying to build some muscle, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up 10 pounds from, my lowest point.
Wow. Okay, so continuing there, I mean, how is this possible? Is your family surprised? I mean, are you even surprised at how effective and how quickly you got results?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, like I'd heard other testimonies that talk about some pretty quick results, but you
Yeah.
always think like, okay, I
That's
don't
not
want to get
me.
my hopes up. That's not
Yeah.
going to be me probably. And I hit a roadblock kind of towards the middle and I was like, dang, like what if this doesn't work for me?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm a little surprised, but also not too surprised.
Because you put the work in. You worked hard for this, and you've been working
Yeah.
at this for 5 months,
Yeah.
pretty hardcore. And so you earned it, you did the work, you did the trainings. And let me ask you this, you worked with Coach Thomas here. How important was it to have that one-on-one coach in the program to meet with? Not just the live trainings or the program itself or the community, all amazing, great things. How important was it to have that one-on-one coach to guide you through the way?
Yeah, that was huge for me. Thomas was awesome to work with. Just having someone care that's been through it and can recommend personalized things. Because the program as a whole, I think it can work for most people generally, but there are little nuances, right? How your body's reacting. And so
Yeah.
to have Thomas there was huge.
Yeah, and there's a lot of information because all
Yeah.
of us are a little different. Some of us are constipated, some of us have mold, some of us have parasites, some of us have viral. And so there's so much information on what you can do. And then to have that person continue to help refine what you want to focus on and what we want to do and why. And Coach Thomas, what do you think was some of the attributes you would say working with Jordan that made him so successful? He came in, he got fantastic results relatively quickly and hit a home run, got rid of all his symptoms in a matter of a few months. What are some of those attributes you would say that other people could say, hey, make sure I bring this in to get the best
absolutely.
results?
Probably the first thing was Jordan's readiness. As that first call, we did a lot of things up front, and then we continued to trickle down kind of the protocols we were doing, but he was game for just going all in the beginning, and I think that's what led to the massive results. And then also in the middle, when he hit a little speed bump, his mind stayed in the right place to overcome it and then become stronger going forward. So coming in ready to go, and then also being able to deal with adversity when it did come and then overcome it was huge.
Yes, I agree. I feel that too, Jordan. Doing the work, being consistent, showing up ready, taking action, asking great questions, keeping control of your mindset, being like, hey, I had a speed bump, something didn't work right in the middle, but we tweaked and we kept moving up.
Yeah.
And that's going to help you in the future if something doesn't go right, because life,
Yeah.
it's not perfect. And I love to see it. And even Thomas, congratulations. I mean, working here and doing this with him, even in the middle of med school, everyone listening, Coach Thomas is about to be Dr. K here soon. So he's been working 80 hours a week for a long time. We're excited to see him grow in the team in that position. And so Jordan, I mean, do you find it a bit ironic that you watched all these stories and you're on the outside going, oh, maybe that's me. And now you're here sharing your experience to be able to get rid of your symptoms and go symptom free, do it natural. Does that feel ironic to you?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I mean, I'm just so grateful that I'm in this position and can share, my story with other people.
And do you feel like you have the tools moving forward? Like you understand what you do and why, and you can protect yourself, not just for the next month or 2 months, but for 6 months, 1 year, 5 years? Do you feel like you're more empowered to really understand how to keep yourself healthy?
Yeah, 100%.
And do you feel like you can keep up with the way you're living? Like this idea, one thing that scared me was this idea of a diet. Like I have to be on a diet for the rest of my life. Do you feel like you have to be on this restrictive diet right now?
No, I don't. I mean, I feel great eating the way that I'm eating. I've been able to have some celebratory meals. And
there you go.
I
Celebrations. We celebrate, we don't cheat. So when we say celebration meals, we mean things that aren't necessarily perfectly good for you. We're not made of glass, we can handle them. And you can eat a variety of food. Even though you're not having symptoms, you can eat much more variety of food now and be symptom-free than when you were trying to be really restricted with your eating with tons of symptoms.
Totally.
So can you handle meats? Have you had any grains, nuts, seeds, salad, corn chips, things like that? Have you been okay handling foods, different variety of foods?
I've been okay with all of that.
Wow. Yeah. And you've gone a little crazy yet?
Yeah, I've gone a little crazy. It was sourdough, but I did have some sourdough pizza. It was totally fine with my kids. So
gluten, cheese, seed oil. Yeah. And so guys, that's what S.H.I.E.L.D. is. So even though we don't keep doing that and we understand, you had systems in place to maybe help you, maybe increase your digestive enzymes, use binders, use mucosal healers, and just watch it. And you knew your body was in a healthy state that, hey, I can do this right now and I'll be okay. So that's also eliminated this idea that you have to be on this strict diet, but you eat from the earth, you eat organic, you understand how food could affect your body. That's called food philosophy. And that gives us freedom because you're not imprisoned. You don't have to do this crazy diet for the rest of your life. You have freedom, you have movement, you're responsible for your health, and you also have understanding of different root issues that if anything stress goes up too much, something happens, you have action steps to be able to protect yourself from anything that moves forward. And you're a lifetime member with the community whenever you need, right?
Yeah.
So I love it. Let me ask you this. If you had any advice for anyone listening, resonating with your story, who's been looking at this and maybe the same thoughts you were having, I don't know if this will work for me. I don't know if this is a scam. I don't know if I'm different. I can't get results. What would be your piece of advice to anyone out there listening and resonating with your story?
Yeah, I would say try to cling on to any little piece of hope that you can. Know that your body is so powerful, and with the right protocols, the right education, and the hard work, you can become strong. Whether you want to do that completely natural with medicine and natural combined, that's up to everyone, right? But your body is powerful and it has the ability to reset, to heal, and to get back into a place where you're happy and whole.